You're welcome, Varda. Hmm. Okay, today the topic I have chosen is that intimacy can be a source of great joy for all of us. As I said in my write up, that Freud, one of the greatest psychologists of this last 20th century, he came out with the statement that we get our greatest joys and sorrows from relationships. And all of us are familiar with this. This is nothing new. So, in fact, the other name for this can be very different. The name that I would like to give is, if you want to move from hell to heaven, uh, one of the easiest ways is not to earn money, is not to have great achievements, amass a lot of wealth. But the way from hell to heaven can be very easily achieved if I can develop some few great bondings and close, intimate relationships, which can be a source of great strength, source of great joy, and source of a sense of being not alone, loneliness, which is a very common thing for most of us here in this world. Now, uh, you know. Unfortunately, I would say, since my experience, and I meet people in various programs and also one-to-one sessions. Unfortunately, people and most of us are in deep problems because of our bad relationships. Because we are not able to have that bonding, that warmth, that validation, that love, that intimacy in our relationships, and therefore the unfortunate reality is that most of us are suffering from relationships and not enjoying the joy of it. That's why I say that it's a other way to move from hell to heaven is to move from unpleasant relationship to pleasant relationships. Now, so the critical question that I see for myself and for others and for humanity at large since the time man has come on this earth is that uh, we do not know, we do not have the skills. Unfortunately, we are not taught in the schools. It is not well known in this world yet that feelings and managing them, being aware of them, dealing with them in a functional way is one of the highest skills which gives us richest dividend. But we don't have that with us. Majority of us don't have it. That is correct. And the reason for this is not far to seek. Let me tell you the fundamental process that happens in our experiences when we go through variety of experiences is we get a lot of feelings, the pleasant, unpleasant feeling in everyday life. Now, nobody likes to be in an unpleasant state, whether it is loss, whether it is vulnerability, whether it is hurt, whether it is rejection, whether it is not being understood. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes it. And but these feelings we keep on experiencing. So how do we deal with them? This is the real question. How do we deal with them? When I am hurt, what do I do? How do I deal with it? How do I stay in that pain? No, I don't want to stay in that pain. Nobody wants to stay in that pain. So there is a very quick mechanism we have developed to deal with those pains. Some mechanisms are healthy and functional ways of dealing with them, and some are not healthy or dysfunctional ways of dealing with them. Now, what is healthy and what is dysfunctional is what I will spend some time on here today. Now, the easiest but unhealthy way of dealing with it is to deny those feelings, to suppress them, not to own them, to run away from them. Uh, by variety of ways we have, by using defense mechanisms, by generalizing. So one of the easiest way is to deny them, to disown them, not to not to reject them, suppress them, repress them, so that we don't feel those feelings. And if I don't feel that feeling, then I don't have any problem in terms of the pain. I have run away from that pain in the here and now. But unfortunately, that does not solve. That is why it is unhealthy. Now, what happens? Children who go through tough experiences in their childhood, they develop these skills of suppressing, denying, not owning, and becoming numb to their feelings. Now, what happens is that we solve one problem of not experiencing the pain, but we create various other problems. Problem is that everything. Now, when I'm in relationship with someone and somebody is showing hurt, I'm insensitive to the hurt of the other person. When I'm insensitive to the hurt of the other person, I don't build bond. I don't build relationship. I deny. There's a dissonance between what I am feeling and what the other person is responding to. So there is no connection. The connection happens between two individuals when the feelings that I am feeling and the feeling that you're acknowledging and saying that okay, this is what you're feeling. There's a resonance, and when there is a dissonance, there's a no connection. There's a disconnect. Now, right now, I am talking to you, right? And if I don't know that you're getting bored, or if I don't know that you're feeling interested, now in this medium it is difficult for me to know whether you are interested right now or getting bored right now. So this is another challenge of this medium, but still I am believing that you are interested and you are engaged in what I am saying. And I believe that if my belief is right and that is what exactly you're right now feeling, then there is a resonance. But if you're feeling bored, if you're feeling what this guy is talking, you're not able to connect with me, but I'm thinking I'm saying something interesting, then there's a dissonance. Can you tell me right now? I'm believing that you are engaged and interested in what I am saying and listening to me. So this is my feel belief, and my feeling is that you are engaged. That I have this what I would say that engagement with you right now. Is it true? Right now, is there a dissonance or resonance? Is my belief right? We are on the same page. So you can say yes or you can say no. I will know whether you are listening to me and you are interested in what I'm saying, or you are not. So if you say yes, then we are in resonance. Can you type whether you're right now engaged and interested in what I'm right now telling you? Can you say that right in the comment column? Then I will know that okay, we are yes, resonance. Yes, so that's right. So Rajalakshmi Nair is there. Okay, so yes, so that is what I will say. There's a resonance. So and this gives a sense of uh, a connection between the two of us. Even though you are many, but still when you write yes, Lisa, or when you write Raj Lakshmi, yes sir, or Varda, you write resonance, or Hanina, you write yes, then I get a sense of validation of what I'm feeling right now and what I'm doing right now, and then this builds a connection between the two of us, and this is now one to one. And as a group, when many of you are feeling the same, then I am in resonance with the group. So this is what builds the connection between two human beings also. So when they are talking and when there is at the same page, there is a resonance of feeling, and there's a possibility of dissonance also. So in intimate relationships, there is a very high level of resonance of feelings. So you feel this, you are able to validate each other's feeling. What the other person is feeling, you are able to experience it, be sensitive to it, and respond accordingly. This is the ground level. So but we don't have that high level of skills, and therefore dissonance occurs. Now I give you one example. Even I am talking about resonance and dissonance and sharing with you about feelings. Now I had this incident with my wife, Poonam, recently, that she told me that while she was watching one serial, she suddenly felt some uh, jealousy towards the character, that who had this some characteristics. I don't exactly remember what, but she felt jealousy. But then she shared with great excitement her joy, that she said that each person, I told myself, she's saying that each person has its own characteristic, strength and values, and each person is unique. And therefore I got this great insight into this thing, that one should not feel jealous, because each one is unique and they have their own unique place and situation, and they can have good strengths and good weaknesses. Now this she was sharing with a lot of excitement. Now what happened, now my response was, I understood that, okay, so she is doing this, but as a behavior scientist I also understood that she was basically trying to deal with the jealousy she was experiencing. She didn't tell me she was jealous, but she said she got this insight. But suddenly I realized that, okay, she was feeling jealous, and then she dealt with jealousy by telling herself that each person is unique, and it is okay if she is having this good characteristics and I'm not having it. I'm having something. Then I said, okay, let me tell her this beautiful process, that, okay, look, even though you are saying you have got beautiful insight, but actually you are dealing with jealousy that you experience with that character, and that's how you dealt with it. And is it this gave rise to this insight, but this also led you to free yourself from the jealousy. This is the way you dealt with your jealousy. Now when I said this to her, her response was, she got little disappointed. I was coming with a lot of desire to add value and help her and tell her that, look, this is how we all do all the time. And she felt disappointed. She said, and you know what she told me? She says, I feel small. I feel not validated. I was sharing such a beautiful insight of mine with such excitement, and you are telling me that this is what I am doing. Even though you're right, but I feel very small and sad. Now, this is what is dissonance at both ends. So I should have actually validated her excitement, that, okay, this is and genuinely, not it's a genuinely, I'm also saying that she has got good insight. And so, but I, instead of highlighting that excitement of her, validating it, I come and start giving my behavioral insights into her, even though that is also valuable. But this is how dissonance led, and this led to distance between us. And then I suddenly realized, I said, okay, I realized my mistake. I think this is not valid right now. I should not have said this. And this is what, then suddenly we had this good connection again, that, okay, I realized my mistake, I said sorry, and I didn't lead to argument or anything. And this gave me a great insight, that validating the person's current excitement is more important than teaching the other person that this is what is happening at a process level. So that, from there only this idea came to me, that, okay, you see, uh, we have to validate each other's feeling and be sensitive to what the other person is feeling, so that the person feels acknowledged for what she is sharing with me. So, and this helped me to dissolve that dissonance and brought that resonance again. And we came, and this built the connection between the two of us further. Now, this is not easy. You see, this is a very subtle process happening. Otherwise, it leads to arguments between husband and wife, and it creates a lot of issues and problems. And now, this is just an illustration of what I am sharing with you, that it's a basically how you have, in order to build intimacy. So what I am basically saying is, in order to build intimacy, I have to be sensitive to my feeling, because of which I'll be sensitive to my relations feeling. And because of that sensitive, I'll be able to acknowledge that feeling, validate that feeling, and other person will feel understood, and we'll be in resonance, and this will build a connection between us. This is one simple process, a very basic process, which is required for building resonance and connection between the two close persons. Now, there are many more dimensions to it. The other dimension is that there has to be a trust. Now, how this Trust is the ultimate test of any relationship. If the relationship is really good, there will be highest level of trust. If the relationship is really bad, there will be no trust. There will be total mistrust of each other. So that means another important besides feeling comes the how do we build the trust with each other. Now, everybody knows that when trust is broken, when somebody tells you about their vulnerability and you exploit it or misuse it or tell um, something which is very confidential and we break that confidence, we lose that trust. Or if I tell lies to her, or I don't disclose, and I am secretive, I am not sharing things, then it doesn't build trust. So what builds trust? Now the second question is what builds trust. I think the most important, but not easy. Now the path to heaven is not easy, so I want you to tell you, I am saying this is a path from hell to heaven, but this path to hell to heaven is beautifully designed. And what is that design? You have to have authenticity. You have to be an authentic and honest person. Can you trust a dishonest person? You can't trust a dishonest person, even in your partners, in your brothers, in your family, in your parents, in the close relationship. So when I am not authentic and I am not honest and I am manipulating and I am telling lies, there cannot be trust. So nature has designed things in a very beautiful way. If I'm not honest and authentic, there is very a rare possibility of my being enjoying this joy of intimacy. Then I have to be open, transparent. You see, open, transparent, authentic, and then few things which I have to respect in the other person. I have to give it autonomy and not try to control each other and not try to manipulate each other. So autonomy is there. Then there is confrontation. If there are some issues which are disturbing us each other, then we have to, even though they may be very difficult to talk about, but still we have to talk in a way and confront those, carefront. You see, some people say that confrontation is taken as a fight. Instead of using the word confront, we can use the word carefront. So we have to carefront whatever issues are bothering us, even between two employees. If there's a good trust, we have to deal with whatever is disturbing each other, and there has to be need for confrontation. If something has hurt me, I have to share with it. Now, I'm talking about openness, confrontation, collaboration, trust, authenticity, autonomy. So these are some of the things I will have to develop within me. So since the time is short, I am giving you in a very brief way. The real task has to be done by each one of us, and keep on exploring and working within us and learn how we can. So this is the first was feeling dimension. The second is my behavior. I have to be authentic, confronting, honest. Um, you know, provide autonomy and not manipulate and control in a unfair way. So that builds the trust. So that's what I said. Second is trust. So without this trust, this is the reward. So feelings, then trust, sensitive to feeling, trust. So this is how you are able to build and work together, collaborate together as a team, and support each other. So this is it too heavy? Tell me. I want to know if any questions are coming to your mind. Anything is coming in your mind, please do share, because I don't want it to be continuously one way thing going on. And so right now I'm losing connect with where are you right now. There might be some questions coming to you. So if you have any questions coming to your mind, please let me know those questions which might be coming. Yes, okay, Varda. Is a work context, trust building can be difficult since transparency cannot always be maintained. Yeah, so to that extent, we have to pay the price. I understand that. Uh, so you can know that, okay, this is the limitation and this is the level of trust, and these are the consequences I have. So you have to weigh the consequences of balance between transparency and trust, and so that is where you have to draw your own line. I think the different leaders have different levels of balance they create within themselves. So I know, and what you're saying is sometimes it can be very difficult, but then we have to sacrifice that trust, and then this is the price we have to pay for opacity or lack of transparency. Trust and validation of feelings. Great. Okay. Thank you. So you're liking it. I understand that. Thanks, Deep. I understand. Okay. So now, in this case, the last time, in the last one of the few sessions, this even in the first session, this concept of expectations and how they affect me had come, and that it is my expectation that get frustrated, and therefore uh, I feel bad, and get angry about it. So, and then Indu Paul had asked me this question that, okay, how to manage the expectation, and I said that I'll do it in the next session, and then in the next session I did not take up, so I broke her trust. I am now bringing it back, and I told her that, okay, I have to take it up now. Other thing, and this is related to relationship and intimacy also, that all the time in close relationship we have a lot of expectations from each other, and most of the time this is the third element I'm covering, and which is also the question coming from the first session. The third element that I'm covering is that these expectations are built between husband and wife, between parent and children, between sibling. There are certain expectations built in by the culture, by whatever you can say, the society, the norms, settings, etc. Is there. So all the time there are a lot of expectation, and unfortunately those expectations are not met. And because they are not met, we think they should be met. We think they are very. I think they are very fair expectation, but they are not met, and therefore I feel hurt. I feel frustrated, and therefore I get angry. Now, the question is how to deal with the expectations. They keep coming, right? So that is the question I understand. कि यार ये तो these keep coming. So then, is it unfair to expect this from my husband, or is it unfair to expect this from my child, or is it unfair to expect this from my brother or my sister, that they should do this, and they are not doing it, and therefore I'm upset and angry with them. Well, first I get hurt because my expectations are frustrated, and then I get angry, and then this leads to exchange, and then this leads to further uh, you know mm, further bad blood between the close relationships. So big fights happen between close relationship because of this. So what to do? That's a very a very sensible thing. Okay, what to do when this the problem here is, I don't know, if I was talking to you in one to one, I would have asked you to give me the answers to this question, and then I would have shared my perspective. But right now, I'm not asking you, I'm giving you my perspective straight away. Uh, you see, when my hand is burning in fire, do I ask anybody what do I do? I don't ask anybody. I just take out my hand from the fire. Nobody has to tell me that, oh, remove your hand from the fire, it will burn, because it is painful. I just take my hand out. Now, why don't we do the same when we have this anger and frustrated expectations from close relationship? Why don't we do that? Why don't we stop expecting? So that's the next question. Actually, the problem is we don't know that it is our expectation. We are getting angry because our expectation is frustrated. We get angry because we take it for granted that they have to do it, they're not doing it, they are bad. The problem is with them. So we say the fire is burning my hand, but in this case, I am saying you are burning my hand. You remove the fire. You are responsible for this burning of my hand. To fire, we don't tell you are responsible. We know we have put the hand. We know we can remove it. But in this case, the problem happens. This is so subtle. We say you are doing it. The problem is with you, the other person, the counterparty, and that is why I keep suffering those expectations. And I am not aware. It happens below my conscious awareness. Since it is happening below my conscious awareness, Therefore, I don't even realize that I have the power to withdraw my hand. I have the power to take care of my expectations. The more I become aware of these expectations burdening me, I won't have to leave those expectations. Those expectations will stop dropping because my peace of mind is more important than my expectations from others. I hope Indu, I don't know whether Indu is here today or not, but so if she's not, she will listen to this so she can be satisfied. So, this is the way to deal with expectation, become more aware and see how they are damaging me, how they are painful for me, how they are creating suffering for me. The moment I am aware of this, I don't need to ask anybody what do I do with expectations. They drop, they have to drop. I can't be in pain. This is a very simple principle. So the third thing that I am talking about in close relation is expectations. So the more self-aware we are that it is my expectation, and then I take responsibility for that. I'm not blaming the other person for what is happening to me. I'm so there might be many questions coming to you. I understand right now when I'm saying this. So if you have any questions, you can please state it here right now, and we can deal with it. I mean, I'll be happy if whatever is happening to you right now, so you can come and share with me. Now the fourth issue that comes in intimacy, okay, I am sensitive. I am also not having expectation. I am also authentic and honest, but my partner is, or my brother is, or my sister is, or my children are, or my wife is, or my husband is having these problems. So what to do? Right? It's a general question that intimacy cannot be one-sided affair. It can never be one-sided. It has to. It's a clap. Two people have to come together, and they have to. So, what to do in this case? It's a difficult. So, any suggestions on this from any one of you? Because intimacy is not a one-way thing; it is a two-way thing. So, what do we do? Okay, you're not saying anything. I'll have to tell you what I think, and that may not be the whole answer. The whole answer will come when all of you put your brains together, and we come together and think of that. But my perspective is that. You know only when we create this culture in our families, in our close relationship, that we have to continuously become self-aware, work on ourselves, learn about feelings, give importance to feelings, keep learning from our mistakes, because none of us wants pain. This is the easiest way to encourage a culture of self learning, understanding, growth, giving much more importance to this. Now, if I ask you, uh, how many families give importance to these kind of things? Of learning about self awareness, sensitivity to feelings, building relationships, intimacy. How many of us give importance to this? And how many of us give importance to money, status, power, material possessions? So we'll have to change our value system in the families. And this value system we can change only when we realize that this is really valuable. So right now, when I am doing these sessions with you, I am basically doing very one simple thing. I'm saying one very simple thing that please, I'm nudging you, I'm motivating you, I'm sharing with you that please keep working on yourself. It's a lifelong journey. I am also working on it myself right now, also, and will continue. And the more I work on it, the more my life moves from hell to heaven. So the path to have from hell to heaven lies in working on my own self, working on my own feelings, working, taking responsibility for what is happening to me in my life. Whatever is happening, I will keep on emphasizing this point in every webinar. These two, three things I'll keep on emphasizing. that whatever is happening to me, I am responsible for that. And right now, even right now, whatever is in my life situation, nobody else is responsible. And this is fortunate. Why it is fortunate? Because if I am responsible, then I can do something. If somebody else is responsible, then I can't do. So that's one. And second is sensitivity and skill in dealing with feelings. These two themes will be continuously coming. And the third theme will be, please keep on learning about your own self. So these themes will keep on coming. And you see, now what I'm saying is, look, life will reward you with intimacy, love, happiness, freedom, if you work on this, if you work on these things, then life is going to reward. If we are not going to work on this, life is going to give you pain. So that means life has designed this whole human living so that people learn these things and get out of suffering. If they don't learn these things, life is going to create suffering for humans unless they work on these things. This is the beauty of life. Okay, so I take some questions. Have some people have commented. So, what do you think? Or Melissa says, what do you think of the belief, if you don't have expectations, that you won't be disappointed? Obviously, Lisa, this is exactly what I am saying. And you may be even happy, because if you don't have expectations and somebody does something beyond your expectations, so you will be happier also. So it's not only that you won't be disappointed, this is one side of the story. The other side of the story is that you will be happier. See, if my needs are very few and they are fulfilled more, and so I'll be happier. So I fully resonate with what you're saying, Lisa. Okay, what I say is, some of our needs are dependent on others. For example, my need for quietude depends on those who are in the same place as me. How can I manage my expectation when I'm not having my expectations being met? Okay, so the situation is that I'm in an office space, and I have a need for being quiet and solitude, kind of a place, quietude, and others are there and they are disturbing, and therefore, so how do I balance my? Actually, the question is not what do I do with my expectations of others. The question is, how do I balance? I have two needs. I have need to be with others right now because I am sitting with others. So that is also my need. If I am in the office, I am deciding to be in office where I'll have to be with others. This is one of the needs, and the second need is I want to be quiet. So I have to bring a balance between these two needs that I. So to that extent, question is, you can't control others. Maybe you can if you are a boss, or maybe you have the power to tell others that, okay, keep quiet. Then that is one option, but that's not a really great option. The great option would be that uh, you have to learn the skill. Either you tell them that, okay, this is my need right now, I would like it, and get that need met, and also I have a need to be with you. So in some way you negotiate with them. Or if your need for quietude is more, then you decide that you can't be here with them right now. Or if you'll have to drop this expectations need for quietude, and so you have to derive the balance. Keep the power within you. The responsibility is yours. So you are meeting. Actually, I am seeing this as a question of my two needs in conflict with each other. I don't have just a need for quietude. Why I'm in the office? Because I have some need to be there in the office. So I have to balance those two needs. Okay. Then I don't know whether I fully satisfied you, but this is how I am seeing this question. Okay. Then there is a question from Vishwa. Vishwa is saying, मुझे लगा है कि एक्सपेक्टेशन छोड़ना तलवार की धार पर चलने के समान है, डिफिकल्ट ना। देखिए, एक्सपेक्टेशन छोड़ना, एक्चुअली मुझे लगता है, मैंने इस पे ना सोचा है थोड़ा सा। आई हैव थॉट अबाउट दिस इशू ऑफ एक्सपेक्टेशन लिटिल डीपर. So I think I need to become more and more and more and more aware of what all these expectations are doing to me. If you see anything is only painful, then it is very easy to leave it. But if it is also giving me a lot of joy, then it is not. Then it is difficult to quit. But in case of expectation, you will see that the more you become aware, the pain of expectation is much more than the joy of. it gives to me. Therefore, it is easier to do it. I think the question is become more aware of it. It's a more of self awareness. The more self aware you become of its mechanics and dynamics and movement in your life, I think it should not be difficult. I I I I can say from my experience that I have expectations. I have, and because of that I suffer. But then I am realizing more and more, and it is leaving its hold onto me. It's loosening its hold. So it is possible. Okay, Pramodji has retracted his message. Okay, anyway, I'm happy to see you, Pramod, here. So that's okay. So okay, let's see. Should one move towards sannyas? Sir, what do you think, sannyas? It's a boring thing. Well, we have some conceptualization about sannyas that it is boring and it's a very dry and stuff like that. I think sannyas is also a way of coping with pain. You see, whatever you see in this life, it is you can see it from the point of life moves from the point of view of pain and pleasure, happiness and unhappiness. So different people find different ways to stay away from pain and get happiness. Sannyas is one model of that. I see sannyas as one model of that. That people realize that okay, I had enough, and I have had many cycles of this, whatever suffering or pleasure or whatever, and now I had enough. Enough. I can get joy from within my own self. I don't need others so much. I don't need too many things. I don't need too many achievements because I have found a way to get joy from within my own self. As they say in Gita, you see, you delight in your own self. This is also a way. So, so sannyas is one model of finding happiness where I say I don't want to find happiness from material things, from external objects, because they that happiness comes with a lot of tax of pain. So I have found another way, which is the way to get into my own self and get joy and delight within my own silent self. So that is another model of happiness. So you can get into sannyas at 25, or you can get into sannyas at 85 or 95 or 60 or whatever. That's the model of happiness people have chosen. I am not sure. I am not a sannyasi, so I don't know whether that model works. What are the problems in those models? They may be having some problems there. But I know that. As I am growing, the more and more I am finding delighted within my own self, finding, looking at my own mind, finding new insights. They give me much more joy than. Going to the markets or going and parties and stuff like that. I get much more right now. I'm also getting a lot of joy when I'm talking to you people and sharing my insights with you, and saying that all of us need to work on this. So this is my model of finding happiness. So this is basically sannyas. Don't go by sannyas. It's a model of finding happiness. So you can design your own model, Pramodji. You can design your own model. What makes your life like you have designed already that you live a very simple life and contented life and don't go too much to parties and spend your time the way you want. So that's a sannyas according to me. That's your model of sannyas. I hope I have given a satisfactory answer to you. I don't know where you are in this. So you have to share with me where you are from Orji. Okay. Uh, so okay. So since you use the word sannyas, so let me say that this is sannyas. I hope some of the American people who are here understand the meaning of sannyas. Sannyas is the fourth stage of life where people say, I don't want to have anything to do with the material world and all that. I want to live my own life without this. So that is okay, so since there are just 5 minutes left, unless you want to extend it further, I would like to summarize some of the things that I have said. I have said that these are very important characteristics of things that I can do or I need to work on myself if I want to move my life from hell to heaven, from bad relationships to intimate and joyous relationships. So these are some of the things I have shared. There may be many more which we are not yet covering, but at this moment we have covered these very important, salient according to me. First is being sensitive to my own feeling and being sensitive to others feeling and validating others feeling and getting in resonance with the with the close relationships. That is one which is very important, and skill in dealing with feelings so that I don't deny, suppress, and run away, because then I will never be able to build a close bond with my children or with my spouse or with my parents or with my friends. Then second, I talked of the kind of behaviors I need to have, or kind of traits or values I need to display is authenticity, confrontation, where I confront what is disturbing me, what has hurt me in a caring way. I've talked of autonomy and not trying to control and manipulate the other person to satisfy my own need. So win-win attitude towards each other. So and also authenticity and honesty and transparency in my behavior with my close family members. Unless they're there, the trust won't be built. So second dimension was trust, and the third dimension that I talked of was I think expectations, and we since we have a lot of expectations built into it, and that we need to become self-aware. So third dimension is actually becoming more self-aware, and the fourth dimension I talked about is that I have to promote this value and culture in my close family or with my close relationship of always learning about myself, understanding, becoming self-aware, and being sensitive to my feeling, promoting authenticity, transparency, openness. Now, now you can't teach these things to others, so I have to role model them. If I am doing this, then people will have a deep impact on them. Their unconscious will pick up these characteristics in the family member, and this will encourage them. If the family member is a senior one, then this will be he or she will be a good role model, and this will encourage this kind of character and culture in the family, where authenticity, honesty, transparency, openness, non-manipulativeness, and all those things are encouraged. So I have said four things: the family culture, self-awareness, expectations, then values of authenticity, transparency, and the first is the sensitivity to feeling. So it's not easy. So it's not easy. So path from hell to heaven is not easy. So life will reward you. I'm telling you, in happiness of closely. This is the way life rewards you if you have these things in you. That means life wants you to have it. So this is one of the easiest way to get happiness. So this is my summary of what I have to share today. Okay, let me hear some of the more comments that have come. Hanina, how to deal with the colleagues who are very where is the Hanina? Hanina has retracted her message. Okay, couple. It is always true that you have to control on yourself and can change to be happy. But how about expectation of others? That also, yes, yes, that's a good question. Okay, my partner is having certain expectations and it is not being met, and she or he is getting angry and upset with me. How do I deal with it? Wow, that's a good question. You have to suffer this pain. That is the first thing is there, and eh, now you have to be aware that what are their expectations, and therefore you have to negotiate those expectations with the other person. Either you can meet them or you can't meet them. If you can't meet them, you will have to negotiate your expectations, their expectations from you, about what they can expect and they can't expect. Sometimes it is better to negotiate those expectations, and of course the one trick is that you have to encourage the values of self learning, awareness, expectations, so that other people also keeps on learning. But I think the thing which is in your hand is, couple, to negotiate the expectations with them in a very upfront and carefronting. This is where you have to carefront with that person. And if it is happening repeatedly, so then it's all the more important that you renegotiate and bring them to this understanding that you will never meet their expectations. Now they have to make a choice what to do, and you have to make a choice what to do. So you have to compromise on what is the level where you want to meet and not meet those expectations. So these negotiations will be a constant task, and that's why I'm saying the culture of self-learning, awareness, understanding, taking responsibility. If there is in the family, it's a heavenly family, which is very rare. But this culture we have to continuously encourage and keep working on ourselves as well. Okay, it's a fantastic that right now it is 7:45 and we have closed with a beautiful note of this, that we have to encourage this culture. Now I want you to share these things. These are very valuable things, and you have to share. I would like you to share them with as many people. You don't need to share my video only. You can share from your own side. Talk to them. Talk to your children. Talk in your family about being self-aware, being sensitive to feeling, sharing about your own experiences on these matters, so that there's a value. And I would strongly recommend that you all please encourage this wherever it possible. Okay, let me see, some more questions are coming. What is this? Hanina, how to deal with colleagues who are very favor in front of us and backbite in our couple method? Thank you very much for a very brainstorming session. Okay, last question from Hanina is that how do I deal with the people who are very nice to you in front but backbite to you? So you lose their trust, and they not you, they lose your trust, and they, so you will have to care front with them. You will say that you are hurt because you heard them saying this and their back. So this is where you will have to learn the art of care fronting, so that your feeling is dealt with.